What's up, everybody? This is Marc Lamont Hill. You are on Marc Lamont Hill's official YouTube channel. We're here tonight to talk about stuff going on in the world, and one matter in particular is all the talk of the Black community right now, and that is the controversy between Cassie and Diddy, also known as Puffy, also known as P. Diddy, also known as Sean Combs. He has been sued in civil court by Cassie, his former romantic partner, his former artist, for an array of charges. She has said that he's engaged in everything from sex trafficking to sexual assault, rape, to mental and physical abuse. And based on all the information we have right now, she attempted to settle this matter privately. They did not reach a settlement. They then, and by they, I mean Cassie's team, made a civil suit. It got public. The information inside that 35-page document went public, and people went nuts. They started going through the controversy. They started going through the details. They started asking what's true, what's not true. Well, within 24 hours, within 48 hours, Diddy's team decided that they would settle for an undisclosed amount. And they said that, of course, a settlement doesn't mean guilt. But a lot of people, including my guest who's giggling already, are questioning that. And so what I wanted to do was have a conversation tonight about what this case means, why someone would do that, and what some of the bigger implications might be for Black folk, for women, for survivors, for all the things that are bound up in this case. So let me bring in my guest. She is an incredible attorney. She's the people's attorney. She has worked in some of the most amazing places in New York City fighting for the rights of people. She's an abolitionist. She also has one of my favorite YouTube programs that y'all should check out on her page on YouTube, Olurinatti. She's the dopest. Her name is Olayemi Olurin, and she is a brilliant attorney who's going to help me make sense of all of this. So, Ole, what's up?
Hey, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Like, you're my first guest. I debated some Zionists last week, but you're like my first guest.
Thank you. I'm honored.
So help me understand this, because it was like 2 a.m. and I saw the news that they settled. And I didn't find out from like one of the news outlets. I found out from that corner of the cesspool of Twitter that was like, I knew she was lying. See, she just wanted a bag. Oh, she just wanted the bread. I heard all this stuff on Twitter, and that's what actually made me go looking for the case and reading into the case. So just from the beginning, why would somebody, because this is what a lot of people are asking, why would somebody who suffered that level of abuse, who went through all the things that she described in the document allegedly, if those things are true, why would she not go to the police? Why would she not file a criminal case? Why does she pursue the civil case? Why does she pursue money?
Okay, so there are so many levels to this, right? First of all, I think that is the first distinction that we need to make, and it's between criminal court and civil court, because I see a lot of people do not understand that deeply in their hearts and their souls. They don't get it. This is not a criminal case. This was a civil suit, which means when you file any kind of civil charges, the result, what you are going for, the consequence, the result of that suit will always be money or no money. You're suing for monetary damages once you are in civil court in the first place. Also, I think it's outlandish that Black people have this kind of conversation around criminal court whenever and only when it seems to be cases like this when it comes to abuse or women claiming abuse. Suddenly, we have all this faith in the criminal system and we believe that the criminal system are arbiters of justice or where we go for the truth. That's not true. And the vast majority of women and victims of sexual abuse or any kind of violence or domestic violence of any kind will tell you that the legal system is not a place that they go for justice. Most people never report, and that's because the criminal system does not take those things seriously in the first place. Most rape kits go untested. Most allegations go ignored. And in the case of somebody that is rich and powerful like Diddy, let's be real. Diddy has been being accused of things, of a litany of things, literally all throughout his career. And when has that ever landed in the criminal system, any system really paying him any kind of consequence? So there's an obvious reason why you wouldn't go to the criminal system. And the reason why you wouldn't is a lot of the same reason.
Is there reason, though, to trust that the civil system would be any more reliable for people?
In a civil suit, the burden of proof is going to be lower. And you're going to see a greater chance of something like this, where they're able to work it out without being in court or without the same kind of level of a public spectacle. But I think what happened here is the recognition that they probably were having some kind of negotiations privately. Diddy and his team probably were not the negotiations were going a different kind of way, or they weren't being as open
Like
to
we're
what
not
the
paying this much.
demands were. Yeah,
Yeah.
and once it was made known to the public, then we saw a different response. And I think when it comes to this is what we have to say. A civil suit, when you file a civil suit, what you are saying is, I'm making allegations. Anytime you make criminal or civil, you're saying I have allegations. I have allegations and I'm prepared. These are my allegations, and I'm prepared to go to civil court and bring out my evidence, to have depositions, to go through a discovery process, and I am prepared to make that case at trial. If the party you are suing, the richer party, by the way, the party that is in a better position to take on that case in court, because that's what makes a case expensive or hard to navigate or hard to win, is the amount of money and time and energy. Diddy, by all strokes of the imagination, has way more resources, way more at his disposal to fight this in court. If before we even look at Diddy as who Diddy is, if you are sued, someone makes heinous allegations towards you. They make all these allegations. They say these are allegations, and I can prove them at court. I want to go to court. And you say the next day, actually, fuck all that. Let's actually settle this immediately, because I wouldn't dare dream of having this deposed. I wouldn't dare dream of there being a discovery process or this going to trial just based off the bare bones allegations of the complaint. I'm sorry, that I don't even think it needs me to say in my professional capacity. I don't even feel like I need to say as a lawyer why that is obviously an indication that you ain't want this to go to a trial for a reason. There is actively something that you don't want it to come out. These are not, again, these aren't small allegations. If somebody were making these kind of grandiose allegations towards you and they did not have anything that they could present, nothing that could come out in discovery or could go to trial, why on God's green earth would you settle it immediately the next day? And Diddy, who we know, Diddy, no matter love Diddy, like Diddy, hate Diddy, you know Diddy don't pay nobody. That much you know. We all know. We all know Diddy gonna take your publishing. He gonna take your masters. He ain't gonna give you nothing, okay? The Lokes still had to pay him $3 million to get out of their contract. So
I know where you're leaning. By the way, Van Lathan said you got that. You made the settlement happen. He sent a shout out. Said you the one that got that settlement done the other day, man. I think you the type of attorney that will get that done. By the way, everybody hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also hit that join button if you want to. We're talking with Olayemi about this. This is fascinating to me. You said, and this is for the audience's benefit, a lower standard of proof. And Brandice Reyes here said the same thing. So in criminal matter, it's guilty beyond all reasonable doubt, right? Whereas with a civil matter, it's just a preponderance of the evidence. So it could just be 51-49. I could just think I could think you're a little more right than him, or he's a little bit more right than you. And that's all I need to give you some money.
A preponderance of evidence, yeah. But the thing is, right, and again, this is dependent on how you feel. It's just about the amount of stress that you go through. But I think what happened here, why this is the civil suit, is I think under the specific statute, there maybe was maybe a year left from the statute of limitations or something that was coming to the end on which she could file these charges at all. So that's probably why there's another. I think it's not only just the burden of proof issue in a criminal court, because I'm pretty sure if you can make these kinds of allegations and you're prepared to take them to civil court and someone fears that coming out of the discovery process, I'm sure there's some things to be able to pursue it criminally, but that's just way more complications. It's way more red tape. There's jurisdiction things, not all the different allegations. What is going to be the statute of limitations on all these different individual things.
And it's harder to prove too. I mean, like when they met, she was 19 and he was 37. Yeah. And they were together for a very, very long time. So, some of this is almost the pre videotaping everything era. There's a lot of evidence that's probably not there. A lot of people who won't come forward, and a lot of stuff is in the past. So it seems to me that it could also be just the difficulty of collecting and holding on to evidence.
Yeah. And even if you could collect the evidence, I mean, it's the difficulty in having a criminal system that's going to punish him for it. I mean, the vast majority of people in our criminal system that even see prosecution, let alone incarceration or convictions, are people who are destitute, broke, poor, make annually less than $12,000 a year. That's the people that are in our criminal system. We don't see the Diddys prosecuted and incarcerated or receive that kind of quote unquote justice. I think there's also a question to explore whether or not that is justice. Because I see people keep saying that, oh, if this really happened to you, wouldn't you want justice? Wouldn't you want what exactly do you consider justice? Justice is what? Airing out all your personal business to a courtroom and to having all your all your trauma, dissected and poured over by millions of people, many of whom don't want to have any compassion for you, in hopes of what? That the court will say to you that something happened that you already experienced and know happened. I mean, listen, I've seen Diddy get off for much things that society is less controversial about. Okay, Diddy has had far more damning allegations. Diddy's in the middle of more damning allegations as far as criminal courts are concerned, and we don't see that going the way that it would typically go for somebody who wasn't of Diddy's stature. So I don't see why we would expect her to pursue that route. But more importantly, I think we forget, again, a civil suit. If a civil suit is you making allegations, you're saying that you did something to me and I can go to court and prove that you did it and get this money. If I make those allegations this day and the very next day you give me the money that I would have got had I won at trial, how is that not the same? That is literally the outcome. I accused you of this. I said I have the evidence to back it up, and you were not willing to go to court in any way to let there be so much as one hearing on this court in which any of that evidence could come to light. How is that anything other than what's and again, I don't know I know thousands of lawyers. I don't know nobody who's ever seen a case get settled the day after.
That's wild to me, because I'm like, if you knew the day before what the evidence was and what could come out, and then you wait, it's like maybe he was pump faking, maybe he thought she was bluffing, maybe he thought that she'd be too embarrassed to have her dirty laundry aired out. Because when she says, look, he made me have sex with 2 sex workers while he watched them masturbated, that's the allegation. I mean, that's some pretty wild shit. Yeah. And she might not want the world to know that there were 2 male sex workers having sex with her, or she was having sex with them. It's, while Diddy, I mean, that puts her business out there. And so he might have been banking on the fact that, or his team might have been banking on the fact that she would be too embarrassed to do that, right? So
embarrassed and afraid
there. But then I saw a lot of people weighing in. I saw Aubrey from Danity Kane weigh in. We saw Kamora Lee Simmons weigh in. We saw lots of celebs weigh in, and none of them were like, this don't sound like Diddy. None of them were like, I don't think he would do that. Now, again, I'm not saying he did anything. I'm just saying these are the allegations that were made. There seemed to be a lot of support for those allegations in the court of public opinion, and he might have felt like a jury also might not make them. But I want to raise something else with you, because I need your understanding of this. There's a woman, Paula Jai Parker. She's an actress. Some of y'all know her, especially if you grew up in the 90s, y'all, or of age in the 90s, you probably know her. She tweeted, and she herself is a sexual assault survivor, and she said, as an SA victor, it's another word for survivor, a victor, one would think I get it, but I don't. I was a child looking for nothing from anyone, but y'all called us thirsty for protecting what's mine. But it ain't thirsty when you forget to protect your behind. Effectively saying Cassie is thirsty. She said, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. I used to be 19 and I was in the industry and I was quite capable of saying no. I guess I'm just a child of the 80s. I believe Miss Nancy when she just said no. She said, I wish someone would have said that to 3-year-old me, that I couldn't say no. But by 19, we're all strong enough to make choices that affect the rest of our lives. If you can't say no, you're not built for it. I saw that sentiment come out a few times. I saw that other dickhead, he's a piece of human garbage, Judge Joe Brown, talk about, this proves she was just in it for the money. It's like all these people were starting to pile on and make it seem like there was something wrong with her character for pursuing it this way. And they weren't necessarily saying that the allegations were false. They were almost saying like, suck it up, or you were riding that long, you can't come out now and ask for money.
Yeah. So
response, and why do people respond that way?
Okay, so that person is a jackass. That was vomit of the mouth. That person is a jackass, and I don't feel the need to offer them any respect, because anybody that could operate like that and say that kind of dribble does not even deserve even the baseline of respect. I mean, listen, I've been Black for 30 years, so the Black community doesn't shock me. This is the typical response, right? There's pretty much, again, and it's not because it's not like Black people are particularly guilty of this. This is this is just within our own community, but this is just how the larger society responds to women and anybody that makes allegations, right? We live in a patriarchal, misogynistic society, and it's like that. They will always find a way to make the woman the problem. If they're not slut shaming her, or they're saying that somehow she should have been more accountable or trying to find some nefarious reason why she's the guilty culprit. And that's reflected in the fact that they're not even saying, oh, that they don't believe this happened. Oh, what are her motivations? Oh, this is about money. Oh, why you wait this? And it's just, listen, there is no perfect victim, and our society is always going to show us that they will find a way to guarantee that that's the truth. They will always find a way to move the goalpost or to blame her, right? If she had come out when she had said it then, if she had said it when she was 19, they'd have said, oh, she's looking for a way to make a name for herself. If she had done it when she was young, they would say, oh, she too young, she too fast, she too fresh. Oh, that's her coming on to trying to be with a powerful man. If she had done it before she got married, they'd say, "Oh, she's bitter because of the breakup." Oh, they would have come up with a reason.
Now they're saying she wants a retirement plan. They're saying she married a personal trainer who ain't got no money. They need them training sessions ain't working, and they need the money now. And so they're pushing Diddy, and that this is an extortion attempt. And Diddy said that, right? That this is an extortion attempt. I want to make sure people understand Diddy's perspective on this. His team said this is an extortion attempt, right? Effectively, that people came to me, and asked me to settle, and I'm not settling because I didn't do anything wrong, and that these are egregious lies, these are harmful lies, and there is a long history in this country. They're arguing, if people on his side are arguing, of black men being falsely accused of all kinds of
by white women. Let's not leave the historical context out. Let's not fucking get it twisted, okay? Because we don't have a long historical context of black women and other black women and people you've been in relationships making false accusations against you. No, baby, I read. Okay, all right. White women historically doing something to Negroes is not the same thing. Let's get the fuck up out of here with that foolishness. Also, it's pretty bold of Diddy to use words like extortion, because there might be a bunch of men and other women that choose to act as harbingers of misogyny, who want to pretend like there's any, like it's outlandish these accusations could come about with Diddy on abuse. Okay, let's pretend. But if we just talking extortion, just surefire, I extort people, I exploit people, I don't get them their money. That's Diddy's motherfucking middle name, and we all know it. And quite frankly, again, I'm not surprised, because this is what we always see. I feel like people in society are so willing. I believe people are aspirational when it comes to who they want to align themselves with solidarity, right? People want to believe that they have more in common with the billionaire, with the man that they view as a success and a staple to the black community and black history. So they tell themselves that that's the side, oh, it's people coming after Diddy. Look how it's unfair. And you see that all the time, right? Because think about it. They're all kind of, we love Jadakiss, right? We love Mace. We love all these people. And all of these people have been saying for fucking decades that Diddy is a goddamn thief, right? And then you will see people in the comments be like, oh, that wasn't still making money, blah, 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 shut up, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They always find a way, no matter whenever people come out and they try to say, hey, this man, this billionaire that y'all love so much, he has done it off the backs of all us. Everybody shuts them down, right? It's not lost upon me that Diddy is a billionaire and everybody in Bad Boy is broke, right? But we act like those things are not related to one another. We tell the people when they come up and they want to talk about that and they want to talk about exploitation, you don't want to hear that shit. So it's not surprising if they act that way on a general basic level about things we know, undisputed things. Are we shocked that they would do this to Cassie?
I guess not. It makes us. The other thing people say is it just proves she just wanted the money. The question that I keep wrestling with is, why is it wrong to want the money? I'm not saying that money heals an assault or heals a traumatic relationship or heals abuse, but neither does putting someone in a cage, right?
Right.
But
she'd be wrong regardless. If she pursued the criminal case, they would say, look at her trying to lock a black man up. They would say, look at this black man has done all this work, come to this point, accomplished all of this, and look how quickly they can just try to bring him down and destroy him. That's what we would be saying. We would be saying, oh, why can't we handle this another way? I remember when the Sukiana shit happened, right? Then everybody was saying, oh, this ain't the way you do it. Don't bring a young brother down. He's apologetic, blah, blah, blah. And that's just somebody wanted an apology on social media. They told her, oh, she trying to destroy a young man. So what is the approach, right? And I also think I think it's important that we say this, but again, it feels a lot like explaining that the sky is blue and grass is green to people who know good and well that that's the case. If you are in an accident and you get in a car accident and something happens to you, you wouldn't sue for money? If the police brutalize you, do we not sue for money? What happens in this society? What wrong is it that we have, that if we have a legal cause of action to sue because we were wrong and we deserve to get something, to be compensated, to have that wrong recognized? When do we ever see that as the wrong course of action or some moral wrong where it means that your injury isn't real? When have we ever heard that? Have we ever seen somebody go to jail for a certain amount of years, be wrongly convicted, and then they sue, and then we say, oh, So you weren't upset. You weren't really upset. Must not have been hard in jail if you'll just take that money. When families go and sue after their children have been killed by the police and their families sue for a settlement, do we tell those families that they are not truly sad about it, that they're just in it for money, that they're just looking to come up? Do we ever say that about any other situation? So why is it that y'all are so concerned that we say that we want to vilify a woman who's been abused for trying to get pennies, shillings off the top of a billionaire's fortune, and she's just one of a myriad of people who have made all kinds of allegations against him for decades? Why is that, people?
It's a great question. I got Monique here, who's in our community. Shout out to Monique for raising this great question. She said, do you think this will affect his career in any way? This is the question I often ask when allegations like this pop up. Again, innocent, guilty, what have you. There are certain allegations that chase you forever, and you can't see outside of them. You can't get beyond them. And then there are other things that people just kind of forget and pretend didn't happen. There's enough A-list and B-list actors out there who have had rape allegations, and we just pretend they didn't happen. We've seen it with other crimes, right? And then other things stick with you. What do you think of the possibility of this sticking with him in any substantive way?
I think, listen, I mean, when you say stick with them, right? Like everything that we know Dr. Dre, we know what Dr. Dre did to D Barnes, right? We know all what Dr. Dre did to Michelet. We know what Dr. Dre did to multiple women. And so it stuck with him, but it had never missed a beat. He's still one of the most richest, successful hip hop artists. We continue to give him billions of dollars. We continue to award him.
He had a Super Bowl halftime show.
Yo, they just gave him an honorary award earlier this year. So I think by stick with Diddy, I mean, it will be one of the many things on a footnote, like one of the many things that we put on our bullet point list of things to be explored by Diddy. Diddy has always had controversy and allegations. And again, not even this is the first time we've seen someone like go to civil court that has been made to our knowledge where we've gotten the allegations. But this is not the first time we've heard that Diddy has been abusive towards women or people that he's been involved with. Some have just recanted their statements after or whatever have you, but we've heard this. I don't think Diddy's career is going to be affected because I think Diddy's career is not going to be affected for the same reasons that we see happening now. People willing to do nimble gymnastics and bend over backwards to try to excuse it. And I think a lot of times is people don't know how to reconcile liking someone or appreciating what their contributions have been to history or culture or, hip hop and them doing another terrible thing. And so the way that they maintain being able to like this person or what their contributions have been is to pretend, is to vilify whoever they view as encroaching on that image of them. So I think Diddy, ultimately, the establishment is going to rock with Diddy. I think that's what we see, right? Like when this happened, the minute these allegations were dropped, Revolt ain't post nothing. BET didn't post anything. The Shade Room made one post. Even just the way they were covering it and the lack of coverage there shows me that they were going to do their endeavor best. If he didn't wrap this up, they were going to do their best to keep it out of the news cycle and just kind of let it go under the wayside. So
right. You got to pay extra careful attention and notice that somebody just posted that Naomi Campbell and Janet Jackson deleted their birthday pics with Diddy, but like you had to be paying attention to people's pages to know that. Quentin Walcott said something important, which is that Black women historically have protected Black men in these circumstances, not the opposite.
Exactly.
So it's fascinating. Before you go, I just want to ask you one more question, and it's an interesting one. The adult survivor law in New York City is expiring. What does that mean for people in New York City who are victims of these kinds of circumstances?
It means that you should look up that, like, if you've had something like that happen to you and it has ever been on your mind that you might want to pursue that civilly, I think now is the time to look into that. I don't know the specifics, but I do think that there are the statute of limitations on that on a lot of things might be soon for some folk. I don't know the specifics of it, and I didn't look into it, but I know in the case of Cassie, the statute of limitations was running up, and it means that you can't pursue the statute of limitations. If that's run, you're not able to pursue.
Right. And the idea of the Adult Survivors Act is that it's a window that they opened up for 1 year for adult survivors to go beyond the statute of limitations, but it's a 1 year window and it's going. And it seems like something we should be fighting to extend. Your mayor, Eric Adams, that would be the kind of thing I wish he'd be championing right now. Some of these city council people.
He's too busy trying to make the feds not snatch him up.
Exactly. He watching his own back right now. But this is an important case, yo. And Ole, I just want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I know it's Saturday night and you still young and got a life, so I'm gonna let you make moves. But I am grateful for your time, everybody. Make sure you follow Ole on all social media. Also subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'm telling you, Olurinatti is a dope show. I love it. She's blessed me to allow me to be on it once or twice. So,
and you're gonna be in my next video essay. My video that's coming out next week. My video essay on Palestine. Mark blessed me with all the expertise. Oh, it's about to bang, Mark. Oh, it's my.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Well, make sure you check that out, y'all. Everybody, also hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Van, thank you so much for that. Wonderful super chat donation. Everybody out there, if you gave a donation, please continue to do that. Hit the join button. I'd love for you to join as a bronze, gold, platinum, whatever, you know, silver member, whatever it is. We just want you to be part of the MLH channel family so we can continue to build infrastructure, continue to grow the platform, continue to bring on amazing people like Ole who will break down issues in real time as they happen. So just thank y'all for joining me tonight. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.